All right, so we are at White Wolf Campground in Yosemite. Here is the map, possible cell phone coverage area. Here's everything. Plague caution. Seems like a scare tactic. But you sign in right here. There's a little drive right there. So we're doing this walkthrough because this campground seems pretty uneven. You can see the road. It's pretty bad, but it gets pretty narrow and the spots are not very big. But all right, we're gonna start the walkthrough right now so that you guys can see it and see if your rig is gonna fit, or you're gonna see if one of these spots is right for you. I feel like there's a couple pull-throughs, but not many. All right, walkthrough is commencing.
That was spot one.
So this is 1. And here's 2. And then here's 3. Also, you might look at some of the rigs that are in here to see if your rig will fit. See, this one doesn't have a big back-in area.
It's kind of a pull through though.
Kind of. It's a pretty tight pull through. So, here's that one. I think that was 5. There's 8. 7. Here's where it gets pretty tight in between the trees, and the road is not the best. It's 13. I guess 19 only has this spot right here. There's 22. There's 21. See how tight that is right there? You're pulling through between those trees. But it looks like it opens up over there. Here's 23. They got a big parking area. So lots of cool flowers here. There's also a decent amount of mosquitoes. My wife has a campfire going and these mosquito burner things. So yeah, you got to contend with a lot of the rocks, because if some of the rocks weren't here, you'd be able to back in a little bit more. So yeah, so this one obviously is a pull through. I think that's 24. So this is a pretty big area, but you see how bad the road is, or the parking area. So then the terrain kind of changes. The trees get a little bit more sparse and it gets a little bit more rocky. There is a creek that runs right here. I'm assuming that's where a lot of the mosquitoes are coming from. 32. So yeah, some of these, if you're here during the day, is probably not going to have a lot of shade over here. All right, so the grade kind of goes down right here. So here's 34. I guess that's where you're parking. And here's 35. I guess you're camping up there. So definitely completely different terrain. And then here's 36 right here. And this one actually has a pretty big parking area. The road's not very good, but definitely decent parking area. So I think we're going to go down that way, but I do think 37 is up here. So I'm following the map right now, so we'll just try to stay in order, I guess.
Looks like that's a 73.
Oh, that's 73. Oh, she might be 37.
Oh, that's 74.
Oh, okay, maybe it's over here. What is that one?
38.
Oh, well, 37 should be right here somewhere.
It might be the... Oh yeah, it is. Their locker's open, so I couldn't tell.
All right, so we'll just continue right here. So there's 37, 38. So the map shows it up this road a little bit where it's kind of not. All right, there's nothing on this side. All right, there's 39.
Yeah, backpacker campsite.
So backpacker campsites, not sure if it's just a meadow or what it is. Wilderness permit required. All right, so here's 44. Those must be the backpacker sites.
Yeah.
So that must be that divergence. All right, I guess we're gonna go check those backpacker sites out because they're. I'm not sure where you're parking. Maybe you're parking at the entrance. It's nice down here. All right, so here is the backpacking sites, which I'm assuming are 40, 41, 42, and 43. Looks like people are just camped out everywhere. All right, so here's 40 right here. I guess they're kind of hard to spot, but this would be 40. The other ones are kind of back in there, and they're really, there's a bunch of people in there, but I'm assuming it looks like this is maybe a little bit more shaded because it's in the trees. That is the backpacker ones. It seems like there's quite a few people in there. I'm not sure how many you're allowed to have or if they even care. Looks like you used to be able to drive down here. So it's cooler here than it is on the valley floor, probably by at least 15 degrees. So keep that in mind. And at night when we were here in July, it got down to about 40. So also keep that in mind. There's 44, there's 47. There's 49.
48.
48.
48 looks like a good bit of parking.
Yeah. Pretty cool. So there's 50. There is porta potties over there, and then there's potties right there. That's 56 through 74. Which is that, but we still have to do this and then go back over. So we're gonna go this way and then come back and then do that, and then there's the trash cans. So here's 58 or 55. That is a pull through. That's a pretty big rig for this campsite. So I'm not sure which one that is. He's pretty.
51.
That's 51. So he's back in there. Also by the bathrooms. That could be good or it could be noisy. Here's 52. And then this is 54. And then that's 53.
Yeah, I think we go back now.
That's 53. Yeah, this campsite's a little wonky, so to say the least. All right, we're back at the front. So I believe the backpackers, if you're driving in, I believe you can park right there, right before you come in. But every time we've driven past it, it's been full. So just keep that in mind. So right there is the little tent where you check in, and then right there's like parking, and then there's a bunch of closed off buildings. But let's get that last spot now. So there is water spouts. I think they're by the bathrooms, but there's none sprinkled around the campground, so don't count on that. And I also have not seen a waste dump, so also don't count on that. And if you have solar, the tree coverage is pretty high, so you're only going to get maybe a couple of hours, maybe 2 to 3 of direct sunlight. So also don't count on that. All right, 56 through 74. I think, oh, there's 56, okay.
There's 37.
56.
'58 got a big spot.
Well, it might be part of 59.
Ooh.
So if you need a lot of parking and you have a lot of people coming, maybe 58 and 59 is for you. Hey. 60 also seems very large. I'm not sure if that's multiple, but maybe. There's 62, so maybe that's 61 and 62.
Oh yeah, it is 61.
All right, so that's 61 and 62. So that could also be a good group spot, and the bathrooms are right there. So there's 63. I haven't noticed any fifth wheels in here. I think depending on how long your rig is, you can probably do it. But any big bus RVs, I don't know. Wow, look at that in the road. It's like a reverse pothole. Man, that's sticking right out.
Stump in the road.
There's 68. It's just a lot of rock. 69. And then there are more trash cans, more porta potties. And then here's 70. 70 looks pretty good. Big back end, not a pull through though. Here's 71. Goes pretty deep. Pretty sketchy road to get here though. Here's 72. All right, so we're now coming down that road that intersected with the backpack campsites. So yeah, there's a lot of rocks right here.
35 and 73.
All right, so there's 74. And then this is 73. Good luck. Because that is like a big ditch right there. All right. That concludes this campground. Let us know if you guys want us to do any of the other campgrounds here in any of the other major campgrounds, Yosemite, Glacier, Crater, anything like that. But we're gonna head back to camp, roast some marshmallows. Thanks for watching. If this helped you out in any way for planning your trip, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below that this helped out. And if it did, then maybe we'll do more, so then it'll make your trips and your planning much easier. See you later. Yeah, he's got it.
I think